All right, it's Jerry Mays, the Kickin lawyer. We're here for another law talk. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you haven't yet, please like, follow, subscribe to the content. We're on all social media platforms, podcast platforms, you name it, we got it. We're on TikTok for the moment, as long as America allows us to have TikTok. You can go watch us on TikTok for legal pieces, and also Josh doing the dances. A lot of fun.
I love doing the dances.
And if you haven't, please download Inside My Head. It's an album available for free from our local friends, NA The Band. They will be performing at Jam Books and Records. Of course, this is probably going to be way past the grand opening. So anyway, check those guys out. Michelle Allen is a longtime sponsor of the show. She's your local Cry-Like realtor if you're going to buy, sell, rent, lease real estate. You can check out Michelle. She also won Volunteer of the Year for the Tiffany County Chamber of Commerce. If you want to learn to kick people in the face, visit us at masonsmartialarts.com. We have 2 locations, one in Covington and one in Millington. We've been teaching people to do that for 30 years. I'm excited about that. Lots of heads have been kicked in 30 years. And the new business I just opened is Jam Books and Records. It's got new and used books and records located on the square in Covington. So come check us out. We're open Monday through Saturday. And last but not least, if you need help with social media, promotional stuff, commercials, ads, video stuff, just visit masonitemarketing.com, and Josh will be glad to help you out. Now, joining me today, we have an American, Mr. Aden, and we have a German exchange student, Mr. Leander. How are you guys doing?
Good.
And since we got Aden on there, Josh, you may have to adjust his camera a little bit. So these guys are both of you seniors? Yeah, they're both seniors at Covington High School. And I went to Covington High School. I don't know if you knew that. I'm an alumni there, 97, class of 97. And then my son Jude, who's been on my podcast some, is also a senior there and is friends with these guys. And I've sort of gotten to know them a little better going to the gym. They go in there and, lift all the weight and get yoked and stuff. Right, get the pump on for the ladies. But anyway, so I've gotten to talk with them and know them. But what's interesting is, especially with Leander here, I'm used to American teenagers, and he and I have talked some about his perspective on being a German citizen coming to the U.S., sort of cultural differences and stuff, which I think is interesting, and then I think you guys may find interesting. So why don't y'all both say who you are, like your seniors, so what's the plan after, and then we can just get into talking.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll go first. My name's Aden Devil. I'm 18, and after high school, I'm going to join the Army, National Guard. I'm already in it, actually. And my job is a horizontal construction engineer, so I'll be doing big cranes and bulldozers, just moving land, and then I might go to trade school after that. But
that's cool. That's a good skill to have too. I mean, I don't know how to do any of that. That's nice. And Leander?
All right. First of all, my name is Leander. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Germany. I'm from a very small village. It's kind of cool because we call them villages and actually not towns. I'm a senior too. My plans after high school is going to a college. I'm thinking about to go maybe to Tennessee Tech around here in the area. And I'm a German in America.
How does that work for you as a German citizen? I guess as an exchange. Are you on a visa?
I'm on a visa, yeah.
So, and are you allowed to stay while you're going to go to school? I just don't know how it works is what I'm saying.
So first of all, you can go by yourself over to America. You want to do an exchange here, or you go with an organization. It's very easy with an organization, and the only difference is pretty much it costs a bit of more money. And the good thing about an organization is to take care about the paperwork and all that stuff. And even to get a visa, it takes certain steps to get one, and it's harder just if you want to do it by yourself. But I'm here on a visa with an organization, and they book my flight, plan everything, which high school I'm going to, which family, all that stuff. So
that's nice. So they sort of lined it up, and I guess it's lined up then for you to stay and complete college here?
Yeah, so the thing is, when I want to go to college, I have a visa for 10 months, so I need to leave 3rd June the country, so I'm going back to Germany. But I'm applying right now for a green card because technically I'm an immigrant, if you can consider it as an immigrant. So when I have my green card, I'm coming back and go to college over here.
Cool. And one thing I thought that was interesting about Leander when I met him is you speak, 5 languages? Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get better and better every day and sound it really depends on if you really learn every single day about it. Sometimes when I talk to other people in other languages, be oh, dude, I need to study more or some stuff. It's not like that I'm 100% fluent in it, but I think I'm pretty good in it. And
what languages are there?
So we have Russian, Ukraine, Polish, French, and German.
Is that something that obviously German you learn in the school, but are those other languages common to pick up in Germany?
So it's more I really like to learn new languages. Before I start doing my exchange, I was I want to learn new languages, and I wasn't pretty good in English, to be honest. I really learned it 1.5 years ago. I was in school, and I was man, like my English is not the best and everybody's better. And then I thought like, okay, maybe doing an exchange here where I'm in America, I learn better English. And it's more like I would say it's more like a hobby. And I think the coolest thing about learning multiple languages is that you can communicate with other people in their native language.
Aden, does he live with you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that. I just thought y'all were good buddies. Well, I mean, obviously you are good buddies, but
We
I saw
were
you
at
together.
first, and he's moved in about a month ago.
Yeah, I lived
Okay.
before at a different host family, and things didn't work out pretty good. I still have very nice people, and I still liked him. They treated me very good, but I still now live with him.
Sweet. Well, that's cool. That's good. So, and I know Aiden's family, right? Now, Aiden's not so much like maybe some of his family and myself. We got a little bit of a twang in our English.
Yeah.
Have you found that difficult to understand when you're here in Tennessee, our English?
It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. The first day when I came here, I was sitting in class. Like, there's one class we have Bible class, and we have a teacher named Miss Jean. And I came in there, and the first like 2 or 3 days, I couldn't understand a single word.
You didn't know what anybody was saying.
Yeah, like I think it's like the country slang or something. Or what is the thing like with bet? Like I never hear the word like bet when somebody's saying like, hey, are you gonna be tonight at my house? You're like, all right, bet, I'm gonna be there.
Well, just so you know, I don't say that.
Yeah.
That's a young guy
That's
thing.
a generational thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was confused about this stuff, like slang and all that stuff. That confused me a lot. Like there's some people like definitely cannot understand, but it really depends on the person. And sometimes I feel like Americans when they talk, like the American English, like besides to the British English, it's like Americans. It sounds like they chew all the time gum, like I do right now.
It's not like they're chewing all the time. It's like we're chewing cud, I guess. Yeah. Well, Aden, now that you've been good buddies with him and getting to hang out with him more, what would you say has been one thing that you think is different, him being a German teenager that's just something that's sort of not positive or negative, just something that stands out as an anomaly that's unique, you think, to a German teenager versus American teenagers?
He did have a lot of confidence when I first met him. He is a lot more reserved than like a normal teenager would be. Most of us just try to be like stand out, like be the person. Like he don't really try to be like that. And
I wonder if that's though a American deal or you as a person.
Yeah.
Like how are the German? Like, are you pretty? Do you consider yourself normal for a German student?
I think there's like certain stereotypes of a German person, but there's like something that I really realized that's different between me and other people. Like, I don't want to be like the cool dude who's like staying out like in front of other people, be like, hey, look at this dude, he's so cool because he has this and this. I don't want to be that person. So I would say I'm a German. Like, there's like some things you really can tell that I'm German, definitely. It's like, there's like one thing I really realized is like, we Germans, we don't show like that much emotion. We just more like, some people ask me like the whole time, hey, are you mad? Are you okay? Be like, yes, I'm fine. Like, it's just like my normal face when I look like people like this. Like, some people would think like, hey, this dude is mad or had a bad day or something. Like, no, it's just like my straight face. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
He said, "I will crush you."
I would crush you and break your neck.
So, and I'm gonna ask a couple questions that we had kind of talked about at the gym, just because I think viewers might find it interesting. But like, give me, Leander, your perspective on now living. How long you been here? A year?
Now sounds like around about like 8 months or something.
8
like
months.
9.
So the time that you've been here, what would you say are a couple of observations that are big differences between Germany and the United States?
Ooh, there's a lot.
well, I mean, list as many as you like. Just what kind of stands out to you?
So like, first of all, the food is way different than we have. I mean, there's like one thing it really makes me mad. I mean, obviously you can see my face right now. Before I came here, I had like maybe like 1 or 2 pimples in my face, and since I'm here, I have a lot of acne in my face, and like the food is way different. I mean, like the streets are different. Like our stripes on the street are completely white, and you're like orange, like a yellow type. Like this is pretty unique. And I would say people over here, they're like more confident to talk with more people. In Germany, if I would walk on the street and would pass somebody, even in my village, some people would just like ignore me or don't say like hello or something. Over here, it's like,
Everybody.
hi, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, and just like this kind of stuff, like how people talk to you, how people treat you, and there's like so many stuff, but I really don't know what I really can say, like what is very different. I mean, I would say Americans are more open to talk to you about like different things, and like I would say Germany is like a very strict country about everything. We have so many rules for this and this stuff, and you can't say this and you can't say this, and I would definitely say America has way more freedom than our country has.
Well, Germany has. We've talked about this before. There's a constitution, right? It's still a democracy now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
We have a president too.
Yeah. So same. But you feel like there are some more restrictive, I guess, laws over there,
Yeah,
or maybe
definitely.
speech and behavior than here.
Yeah, like there's like some things like about like tuning your cars when you go about that. So in Germany we have something that's called TÜV. TÜV is basically a thing where you need to go like at some point and they check your car and everything. So basically I couldn't drive on the road with a broken headlight. They would pull me over, I get a ticket, or sometimes they pull you over and take your car and give you a ticket.
Over a broken headlight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Memphis maybe, but not so much here. Another thing we talked about that was different was you're talking about like gun rights.
Yeah, this is like way different. So I would say like in America, like when me as a European, when I think about America, the first thing what comes to mind is probably besides like some other stuff is definitely guns and like you can shoot with guns everywhere. Like the gun rules are way different. Like if I want to get a gun, I need to be at least an adult, and there's like only 2 ways to get a gun. First of all, I would say you need to be like in a club where you shoot on some stuff that you can get like one from a club. Be like, hey, I'm in a club and I want to get a gun. I want to get a license for this. Or you go hunting. But like our gun rules are so strict, you Americans would be like super mad if you would be in Germany. You want to go hunting and want to shoot.
Well, and even then the clubs, isn't it limited which kind of gun you can get?
Yeah, like basically I wouldn't say like I'm not like too deep into that club stuff that I could tell you like every single detail about it, but I'm pretty sure you couldn't get a shotgun or something, or like a sniper or something. I don't know. But if you want to get like a pistol or like an arrow or something, I mean, arrow is not a gun where you shoot bullets with, but you know what I mean. Like this kind of stuff is possible, but obviously you couldn't get a rocket launcher or something like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are limitations clearly here, but it's kind of like we talked about in the gym. If you got enough time and money in the U.S., you can get just about anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get a lot, and it is some true. Well, in the South, this is a little different. Have you visited outside of the South in the United States?
So where I have been in Ohio, I have been in Kentucky, like not like I wasn't like in pretty big states or something like where you have like some it's like cooler stuff like over here, like not really.
New York, didn't you?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I was in New York before I came here.
How long?
I was there for 4 or 5 days or something.
Okay, yeah, that might not be long enough to see. Now, my observation as a 45-year-old American is in the United States there are regional differences. Like here, if you go to Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, even Texas, Louisiana, they're all Mississippi, Arkansas. Those are all southern states that are going to feel very similar. I think the people are similar. There's a southern hospitality. People kind of vote the same way. A lot of them carry guns. I mean, it's a lot of similarity. But if you go like way out west to like California, Washington State, maybe even Utah, all over that direction, and then north to like New York and Maine and sort of up that direction, New England area, the politics is different. The people are different. Not necessarily better or worse. It's just it's different, and it could be similar in Germany. You know, village to village. I don't know. But my point is, like, the vibe you're getting now, what you're describing, is a very southern thing. There are areas in the United States where not everybody does have guns. You know, they could, but they just are against it. Or even their state may have more restrictive laws on it. So, I mean, I think that's interesting, a difference you could, because, you know, you're getting this one perspective of the United States, and it's not quite a full view of all, because America really is a melting pot. You know, we're open to, I think, for the most part, most people are open to different thoughts, different feelings, different ideologies, all this stuff. But I said that because of this. Here in this area, the majority of the people you're going to run into probably own multiple guns. Yeah. You know, like I think I own 20, you know, by myself. Yeah. And I know people that own way more than I do. Now, of course, I was a cop. And
that's a low number for an American.
Yeah, that for around here, that's, you know, you don't have to say how many. I know your dad has guns. You know, I mean, like we got guns. That's the thing. Is like people talk about how if they were going to ever come in, any other nation like China or something or Russia ever tried to come in and do like a land grab in the United States, it's not our American military you have to worry about. Our citizens are a fully armed militia that's ready to defend us, and it would not be. It would be harder than most other nations, I think. And then in the South, most of us know how to shoot. You know, it's a whole nother thing. Most of us were raised hunting or shooting or in some capacity firing a weapon. Anyway, it's just interesting to me the differences in the United States and then your observation of it. Let me ask you this on a side note. Have you, and I say this because I think I told you I went to Asia a lot. One of my observations with a difference in Americans and Asians was in Asia, they typically are not fat. How are Germans in comparison to Americans on like obesity?
So I would say like our country is pretty healthy. I mean, obviously I can tell for every single, I can talk about like not every single person over there, but like the first thing that comes to my mind, obviously, or like as a European, I don't mean it to disrespect America, but it's obviously overweighted people, guns and like politics and all that stuff. But
guns and what was the last thing?
Guns and politics, like Joe Biden.
Oh, politics.
Politics,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Like some meme. I saw a lot of memes with Joe Biden and all that kind of stuff. But I would say like it really depends on the person. I mean, obviously you can decide for yourself if you want to eat healthy or unhealthy. But I wouldn't say like that our country has that much overweighted people that America has.
Well, you mentioned earlier how the food is different. Is that a component that you mean? Do you think maybe Germany has healthier food than the U.S. does?
So like what's crazy for me is when I went with him to McDonald's or something and we got like a Big Mac menu and it was like $6-7.
Yeah.
It's like like in Germany you pay at least like 14 or 15 euro for that, and it's like compared like 14-15 and it's like insane. Like our like unhealthy food like McDonald's or Burger King or some stuff is like way more expensive, and like some healthy stuff, just as an example, like apple, bananas, all that kind of stuff, or like fruits or like vegetables are like way cheaper than over here.
Yeah, I thought that might be a correlation. Americans have access to cheap, bad for you, unhealthy food, I think, a lot more than the rest of the
And we have less
the world.
access to healthy food. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of us, and then Americans are all about excess too. I mean, the whole history of the United States has been excess, and still to this day it is. Capitalism honestly is about excess. It's about I want more, I need more, I'm going to earn more, I'm going to make more, I'm going to be better than you, and so it's competitive, and so people eat a lot. We tend to be. That was an observation I had. In Asia, they're not, and they're also. Kind of like you're talking about with Germany. It's interesting you said that. You're talking about how you walk by the street and they don't really, say anything to you. And in here in the South, it's almost disrespectful if I walk by and I don't go, "How you doing?" Or "Hey, what's up?" I'll tell you all a little side story. When I was a cop, we walked in this club. Used to be a club here in Tipton County called the Farm Club, and I was a deputy, and we would do these walkthroughs, we call them, and that's where the group of us on the shift would go into the club and just sort of do a security walkthrough, show people the cops are around, not really to mess with folks, but just sort of a show of presence. So anyway, we'd walk through, and I was always nice to everybody, smiling, and I'd be like, "How's it going? How's you doing, everybody?" Well, there was this one gang leader in there, and I walked up and was like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" And he was like, "I ain't got to say nothing to you." And then I was like, "Oh, well, now you do," because he just didn't want to say, "How you doing?" back to me. And I ended up, I could always ask for the IDs, got his ID, pulled him outside, ran his ID. He had him and his boys, and it ended up kind of going south from there. But my point is, he just had to say, "How's it going?" He just had to be nice. but in Asia, it was the same thing you're saying. Like, it was almost rude to say something to people. Like, they're in their own space. They don't acknowledge you. You just go about your business, and you're not really speaking. So that's interesting. So how and Aden, you're very smart. So I was fixing to say something just to kind of pick at you that I would say to Jude too, but I was going to be like, do you feel smarter now that you're hanging out with Leander, or do you feel less smart?
He always tries to rub it in my face that he speaks 5 languages, but I feel smarter than him because I know more words, and he just like kind of gets like out of whack trying to say stuff all the time.
How does he pick up on American humor?
He's pretty good at that, to be honest, but sometimes he don't understand. He's just like, "What does that word mean?" And then like he asks, he wants to know, but sometimes he just.
Well, the first couple of times that I talked with you and y'all were in there, we always jab at each other. That's just kind of a guy thing anyway. Maybe I don't know if you do it in the German gyms.
Yes, I do too.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, we were immediately like crapping on him just because that's how you if you don't, that means you probably don't like him as much. Yeah. Speaking of that, I guess that's something I hadn't asked you before because I'm curious. With Germany, are there gyms everywhere? Like in America, there's a gym everywhere, like everywhere you go.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like when you go to big cities. So basically, I live in a very small like village or town. Like I would say my village has like 60 to 200 people. I don't know the exact thing. Like there's like some houses that live like on a mountain, and I don't even know if they count to our village or something. But like I would like. It would take me like about like 10 minutes with the car to go to my next closest gym. But I really need to say, like, gyms over here are way cheaper than in my country. Like, way cheaper. Like, I pay, like, a total fitness, what is it, like, $19 a month?
Yeah, like 20, I
Like
think.
20
Yeah, it's
something,
not
you know.
much. Yeah.
That's not much. And, like, I don't know, like, that gym that's pretty close to me, you pay, like, $60 a month. And then you pay, like, every 3 months, like, what is it, like, $30 for cleaning and, like, some, like, weird stuff you definitely shouldn't be. Like, you shouldn't pay for that stuff. Like, it's a gym. Like, you don't want to go there and just, like, chill there the whole day and just like watch TV something there. You want to go there to work out. Like, why would you pay that much money? Like, it makes no sense.
Well, I think there are gyms in the U.S. like that. It just depends on where you go. But what I think is good, and my observation at least, is almost every town has some form of gym. Some are cheaper, some are run by the city. You know, there's a place to go work out if you want to. And that's really developed in the last like 30, 40 years, like late 70s through the 80s. Gym culture started to really pick up, and a lot of that's because of Arnold. You know,
The pumping iron.
how is Arnold? So in the U.S., Arnold's this huge, big, you know, movie star. Some people don't like him because of politics, and some people do. Me and my brother over here, Josh, and I might have told you, are huge fans of Arnold. Like we were raised watching Arnold's movies. I got to meet him like a month ago. One of the great experiences for me. I got to hang out. I got to be his bodyguard, which was cool. But anyway, how is and you can speak on not just him, but just Americans in general. Are there any Americans in general that are renowned in Germany or made fun of in Germany?
Like, I wouldn't say we're made fun of, but there's like so many memes with Joe Biden just saying like some weird crap. Like, if you stack tomatoes with tomatoes, like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, and I'm sure that it probably goes both sides. I'm sure that when Trump was president, it was the same
Yeah,
thing.
there was that one too, that he wanted to build a wall or something, and
Yeah. He
that
likes
kind of
walls.
stuff. Yeah,
He's
he
all
likes
about walls. Yeah.
And like about his hair, like all that kind of stuff. That it's just like I don't know what to describe, but it's just a weird. He has weird hair or something. They make a lot of memes.
Do y'all have American movies over there that play regular?
Yeah, like basically all kind of movies that you have, we have them too, just like in German, so that we can understand them. But yeah.
Yeah, and so are there any American celebrities that are like a big deal over there? Like David Hasselhoff, who is not that big over. Well, I mean, people know him, but I hear over there they're like, oh man, he's like a god.
Or like Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that, or some like gym rats, like Alex Eubanks is pretty popular.
Alex Eubanks.
He's an influencer.
Oh, I don't know who that is. It's
It's
because I'm old. It's okay.
Like, I would say like in my generation, like people from America, they go to the gym, like Alex Eubanks. Or do you have another example? Ronnie Coleman or something like they're pretty.
So you know Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
What about Arnold? Like
Arnold
again, because he's
Schwarzenegger.
Austrian.
Yeah, he's Austrian. Yeah.
I thought that maybe that would. He speaks German. So I thought maybe that would connect with Germans.
Yeah, he's kind of cool. I think he's pretty funny, and like he's like from Austria, and like our German gym rat is Marcus Rühl, the German. Beast.
Yeah. No, I do know Marcus Rühl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big giant guy. He was big in the late '90s, 2000s.
Yeah, I remember like that.
Yeah, he's huge. You have to look him up, Josh.
Yeah.
It's Ruhl, Marcus Rühl. He's a freaking monster. He never won the Olympia, but he was always like top 10 level.
The German Beast was his nickname.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there he is.
That's a big dude.
Yeah, he was a big dude. I was always surprised he never won. He was so giant like that. I mean, look at his deltoids.
Isn't Tom Platz German?
Hmm?
Tom Platz?
No, he's a U.S. He's American. He's the best quads ever.
Yeah.
Tom Platz for sure. What about, there was another guy, Gunther was a bodybuilder in the 90s. His last name was Gunther. What was his first name?
Günther?
Gunther. He's a big, tall, blonde guy. I think he was German. He may have been Austrian. Anyway, I've followed that stuff forever. I'm a huge, big bodybuilding fan. So anyway, I'm familiar that you guys have got some really strong guys. You know, Germans have a big history of, you know, we even say here in the U.S., like when we do our DNA, some people have Germanic descent, and it's typically thought of like Scandinavian, Germanic, all through there. They're all big, giant, burly dudes, you know?
Yeah. What's kind of funny, like always when I met people around here, they'd be like, hey, I'm 15% German or something. Or like, hey, my grandpa, my grandpa was German, or like my grandma was German. Like everybody that I met here is just like at least 10% German.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, prior to the World War II, I'm sure there was a lot of immigration, probably both ways, people going back and forth. And we don't have to go into that whole deal because I'm sure being from Germany, you have to hear about it all the time. But
It's fine.
I am curious to know, though, what Germans, the citizens in general, what their like general perspective is of the United States. Like, is it positive or negative? Like, how do they think of America?
So I would say it's both sides. I think the most popular and funniest thing is like if I would talk to my friends over to call them right now, I would be like, hey, what do you think about America? There would be like three things they would say. It's like guns, overweighted people, and McDonald's. I mean, they're like the most popular things.
That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say like the most like Germans would think Americans are cool because they have guns, and you're like a crazy country with crazy people. I mean, always when I'm on Instagram, when I was right back there and just like slide to Instagram or something, I just saw like a dude shooting like, I don't know, like a 50 cal like with a hand pistol on like whatever on a car or something. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't know.
And then you met Aden and y'all went and did it.
No, yeah.
Nah.
Have you gotten to do any cool American things since you've been over here?
I would say yeah, I did a lot of stuff. Like, do you have any great examples of what we did together?
He was real surprised when we shot a gun off my back porch, just like at a hill.
You just get to go shoot it, yeah.
It was crazy. Well, like we have like a class in school, and like school is like way different than my school. Like high school is just crazy, and we had a teacher, and we just said like, okay guys, hop on the bus, you're gonna drive somewhere like in the middle of class, and it's like a class where we shoot guns, and I was like super surprised about it, and we're like, okay, in school? That's crazy. That's cool. Why don't we have that in our country?
Huh. You know, I was just thinking as you were saying that, though, talking about your school, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because all I know on I've never been to Germany. All I know is like what I've read or seen. There are some things I think y'all are a little more free thinking on, maybe more progressive than Americans. Like, for example, there are some areas of Germany where even like prostitution is legal, I think. There are drugs, I think, in areas of Germany that may be more legal than they are over here.
So there's like one thing what I talked with your brother about like 10 minutes before he came in. So on Eastern, I hear that Joe Biden made like that up with the Transgender Day of Visibility. On the same day, we legalized in Germany weed, like marijuana.
Is marijuana? So when is that now legal?
Yeah, science like Eastern, like basically the same day.
Okay. Well, I didn't pay attention to what Joe Biden did with.
He just made up like he just called the like we woke up like I woke up in the morning. I went to Aden and we just saw that he called it Transgender Day of Visibility, right?
Oh, a day of visibility.
Yeah.
Oh well, I still didn't see him. But anyway, that was a joke that y'all didn't pick up on. They're still not visible to me. What I was getting at, yeah. So weed's legal over there. But maybe I'm confusing the countries on where they but I know that there's some areas over there where things like...
You're probably also thinking of, what's that one? There's a country everybody goes to, Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam, Netherlands.
I'm aware of Amsterdam, but
that's the one
I
everybody
thought
goes
that
to
in
smoke
Germany...
weed.
Well, I tell you why I can bring it up. Madeline and I, my wife, we're watching this Netflix series with these two Korean dudes. I forget the name of the show. And they're going around to different cities... different countries and experiencing the spicier angles of those countries. And I thought they went to Germany, and Germany had like it doesn't matter. You're too young to probably know. Doesn't matter. But it struck me as it was more free thinking than the U.S. on some of those areas. So anyway, every country's going to have pros and cons. Who was it I was talking to that said when they went to Germany that everything? Oh, I was just talking to. Rob Witherington. He just got back from Germany. So it was beautiful. Yeah. He said the only thing that he thought was different, and I think it stems back to the war, is he said that the cities are super modern. Everything's new, and he said he thinks it's because it got bombed so much during the war.
Do you know where he exactly went?
I could find out. I can text him right now and find out where he went. Let's see. But yeah, anyway, he said that he likes looking at like old castles and stuff, and he felt like that in Germany, he didn't really see all that. Now, my daughter-in-law, McKenna, Austin was there with me one night when I was working out, I think. My other son, I think you thought he was my brother.
Yeah, when he did squats?
Yeah, he's my son too. So I've got 4 sons. I started when I was like your age, having kids.
3 sons, 1 daughter.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I got 3 sons. Anyway, so they're all grown, right? Anyway, Austin's wife McKenna has been to Germany and says it's her favorite place. She says it's the most beautiful place she's ever been. Where did you go in Germany? He'll tell me a second. All right, I know Aden, you're a big soccer guy, or what? Was, still is,
Yeah.
still are, because you was killing it.
Season.
And always said, Aden, you ought to have done martial arts because you got them long legs. You still could. Anyway, but soccer is still a growing sport in the United States. It's not like baseball or football.
Yeah.
How is soccer in Germany?
Whoa, like soccer is like the biggest sport in Germany, like
Really?
ever. Like I would say, I mean, there's like so many like different there's like so many differences between our countries. But I mean, like you have football. That's like one thing I think about when I think about America too. Like when I think about America, like one of the first things that comes to mind is football and Super Bowl. But soccer is in Germany, like I would say, the hugest sport ever. I mean, we won the World Cup. Like soccer, like I love soccer. I love it to watch it. And I would say like the perspective what I really learned about here is like soccer is not that big in America. When I've been at like our football games from my high school, everybody showed up. We have soccer games, we have like 20, 30 people maybe. But soccer is huge in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's like that in most of the world. You go to South America, it's huge. Most of Europe, it's big. I don't know. I mean, Asia plays soccer. I'm not sure if it's as big there or not.
We're one of the only countries where I think American football is bigger for us than soccer is.
What do you call American football in German?
Football.
We
call it football.
What do you call soccer? Soccer?
Fußball.
Fußball?
Fußball.
And football is football.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sounds the same. Did you understand American football rules before you got here?
To be honest, no, not really. When I came here and when I was watching, I kind of understand it because he told me what he is, and I found out like the first thing what I learned was what is a kicker.
Yeah.
And it was pretty like for real. I need to say that I don't want to lie about that. Like the first like 2 or 3 games, I was just sitting there and watching. I didn't understand one single thing. The only thing I really know was when people just like run into your left or right corner and somebody screaming touchdown or something.
Well, so I'm going to tell you. Our dad was never really big into sports. He was a kind of real smart guy, real techie guy, and really, honestly, kind of probably a nerdy guy. And so I played a little baseball just because here in the South you kind of have to in the beginning. And then eventually I got into martial arts pretty young, and I had not a knack for it, but I enjoyed it. So my parents kept me in martial arts forever. So I did mostly martial arts, and this is back when it was super fringe. This is before everybody did some kind of MMA or something. So I was a big martial arts guy. Well, my best friend, Aaron, was big captain of the football team. And so when I got into high school, I didn't know football rules as an American, which is un-American. Yeah. But I didn't understand what a down was. I didn't understand the 10-yard thing. I didn't get it either. I didn't understand. And I ended up getting talked into trying out for the team my freshman year because they needed a kicker. Because you're talking about the kicker. I know how to kick, martial arts. They were like, hey, he can kick. Let's make him the kicker. So I did it, and I'll never forget the first couple of games I was in. I just didn't even know the rules. Like, I didn't even really know where I was supposed to be kicking the ball. I was completely lost in playing, and I was actually playing football. I ended up playing my senior year, and mostly because by that point I just wanted to get a jacket, but I hadn't even played enough to letter. So you got to play certain quarters to letter. And anyway, the Aaron again went to the coach and was like, hey, Jerry's a senior and he didn't have a letter. Can you give him a letter? And so my buddy got me a letter. So that's how I ended up getting my letter. But my point is, I can relate to being ignorant and not knowing what it, like to this day. I don't know if you watch it, Aden and Leander. I think you'll probably know this more than us. Rugby. Hell, I don't know what they're doing, when they play rugby. It's great. I like watching it because they run into each other and stuff. Do you have rugby? Y'all play rugby?
I don't know, to be honest. I think we maybe have a rugby team. We actually have football in Germany. I didn't even know that. I realized that like 2 months or 4 months ago because I was talking to my dad, and he said, like, we just talked about football and all that kind of stuff. And he just said, like, you realize and that we have football in Germany too. And I was like, we really do? What?
American football?
We actually have American football.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought that for the longest time American football was like exclusively here. I thought we were the only ones that had it. That's interesting.
Well, Josh over here, my brother, he likes movies, especially the ones on the the internet, the special sites.
That's right.
He'll watch those movies.
That's my favorite
he likes to make movies. He makes like fan films and stuff and independent films. As we talk about movies a lot. But let me ask this because I'm curious to see just the difference. Both of you think about what your favorite movie is of all time. If there was one movie that you had to watch on rerun, that's the only one you could watch. Which one would it be?
Do you got it? I got it.
You go first.
The new Baywatch with The Rock in it. I love that movie.
The new Baywatch with The Rock in it.
That's one of the greatest movies ever watched, and I like The Rock. It's hilarious.
I guess it's got a little bit of everything, doesn't it?
It's a good movie. That movie's got my girl in it. It's got my girl, Alexandria Daddario.
Yeah, Alexander Daddario with the blue eyes.
Yeah, man, that's my girl. Yeah.
I'm married. No comment. What do you think, Aiden?
I have no clue. How about you go?
Do you watch movies? Like, is that a big thing for you guys?
I do a little bit, but
Well, you know,
not a whole lot.
Jude's not big on them. That's why I ask. Is it's interesting generationally.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have internet when I grew up because, you know, I'm so old, right? I remember when there wasn't internet or cell phones. And so a big deal to us was going to the movie. And so when I was a kid, I was telling this on another podcast, our dad was such a big movie buff, is often in the summer we didn't have the money to go on vacation. So our summer retreat was we go to a movie every weekend. So it was a huge deal, is we always watch movies. And so my number one movie easily of all time that I would watch, and I watch every time it comes on, I probably watch it once a week still, is Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I like that movie.
The original. It gets me going. I think
Is it that movie where he's saying "Hasta la vista, baby"?
no,
that's Terminator.
That's Terminator.
Yeah.
This is the one where he's in the jungle and there's an alien that's trying to kill them all, and he's like, "Get to the chopper."
Oh, he said it in that one.
He says it in several of them, but that's the
okay.
I think that's the first one he said it in.
I will say, Leander, if you want to watch the most American film
here
ever
we
made,
go.
you need to
Here we
watch
go.
Predator.
Oh, I thought he was
No, I
going
was
to say
a great.
Transformers.
I mean, Transformers is the best movie ever made. But if you want the most American,
Well,
film, I think Predator
I say it's
probably
a generational though American.
Yeah.
If you are a type A alpha male type guy that's grew up from like the late 70s to maybe the early 90s, the quintessential type A alpha male is based on the type of macho attitudes in Predator. That movie, it's not accurate. It's probably not good to always try to be like those guys, but that's what you aspired to be, or at least I know I did. And I think it's a good slice of why people like our age think the way we do about certain things. And that's why I ask about the movies. And of course, it may not be a good question now for your generation because y'all are watching YouTube and social media and stuff now. It's different, you know. Like you mentioned, a social media influencer, and I don't even know who it is, you know, because it's just generational. And like Arnold, act like he's a big deal, and y'all may be like, what, the old guy? And I'm thinking of the Terminator, you know.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how that's different. I agree with you on the hot girl though. That's
Alexandria Daddario.
we can agree on that. Well, let's ask that. That'll be an interesting question. Who is like your my wife won't mind if I answer the question, but like all-time crush, like the one person that you've always thought was like
Beautiful.
this beautiful woman. And I would preface what I'm going to say by saying that obviously my wife is the most beautiful and the best that I would ever want. But if I didn't have my wife, I've always said that my number one, and y'all won't know who this is she was a model named Brooke Burke. So Brooke Burke, I know you're still out there. I still follow you on Instagram. But anyway, she's older than me, actually. Brooke Burke is. Yeah, you can pull her up. Burke. Yeah, that's her.
No, she's good looking.
Yeah. And she still looks like that, actually. She's big into fitness and yoga and stuff. Yeah, you got me distracted. All right. So I'm just curious to see if it changes with each generation. So
I really don't know the name of her, but the woman from Transformers.
Megan
Fox.
Fox.
Megan Fox. That's exactly what I was
That's
gonna
what
say.
Josh was going to say. You were going to say Megan Fox?
Yeah, well, no, I'd say Alexandria Daddario. Megan Fox
Alexandria
used to be my
Daddario.
number
I was
one.
going to say, I figured yours would be
Yeah.
Megan Fox, too.
Yeah. No, I think me and Leander have the exact same taste in women, though, because that's probably my top two.
Yeah. I mean, she's
Megan Fox.
she's all right. My right up there with Brooke Burke would be, what was the girl's name that played in, she played in the movie with the giant bugs, Starship Troopers.
Oh, damn. What's her name? I know you're talking about. Yeah.
I got another one. Or Princess and Leia from Star Wars.
The original Princess Leia, Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher. Oh yeah, you know in that first movie, I think she was 17.
Oh.
And then in Empire Strikes Back, she was like 20, maybe 19, 20. She was young when they did those movies. No, it's not that girl. It's Denise Richards. That's the other one. Yeah. She's still attractive, but man, I'm gonna tell you, back in the day. Yeah, that one movie. What was the one movie where she she was with the dude. Yeah, there it doesn't matter. It's an old movie, but yeah, that would be probably my number 2, Denise Richards. So Megan Fox, and what was the other one you just said?
Alexandria Daddario.
Yeah, but he said Carrie Fisher, which is interesting.
Carrie Fisher, yeah.
Yeah. Is it because she was in the slave Leia outfit?
That was beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, he said. Well, so I'll ask you one more thing, and I'll tie this up and let you guys go. So we have the Covington Comic-Con is an event. If you're still here in August, I know you probably know what I'm talking about because we've done 3 of them now. That's this guy behind you. That's Budget Batman. He always makes an appearance at the Covington Comic-Con. It's a comic convention where nerds and people interested in pop culture stuff come together, and we have vendors and we sell stuff and people dress up, and it's just a lot of fun. Anyway, we're having that again this year. But I'm curious if Germany has anything like that. Do y'all do?
Comic-Con or something like that? Yeah. I think we have to too, but I think what I would say the biggest con that we have in Germany is the Gamescom. It's basically the Gamescom. They're all like YouTubers or people from Twitch coming over. Sometimes people from overseas, and you can talk to them, take pictures with them, and talk to them. It's like I would say that's the biggest con that we have in Germany. That's pretty common.
Nice. Are y'all go to the gym every day? I see y'all there almost all the time. That's great. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see young guys that are in there. You know, and I pick on y'all on different stuff when I'm in there, but I've literally been going to the gym or the martial arts school my whole life. And so I highly motivate that you try to continue to do that because you don't realize it now, but the base of muscle that you build at like 17, 18, 19, 20 is the sort of what your body is going to look like your whole life. Like I had a doctor tell me that back when I was younger. And so I've worked out my whole life. And so even as I get older and I'll gain body fat here and there sometimes, and I have to be a little more careful on certain things, but I'm still really strong. I'm still fast. I can still do things that a lot of guys my age can't do. And it's just because I've consistently done it my whole life. So I like seeing young guys in there. I would just challenge you to one day be the old guy in there, listening to Dolly Parton when I do my squats. So
I think I have another thing we could talk about. What maybe be interesting.
Okay,
we could talk about religion, like differences between countries and like, the beliefs.
So what's your observation on that?
So to be honest, before I came here, like I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ. I accept him as my Lord and Savior. But there's like one thing I really thought. I thought America is one of the most Christianity's countries like there ever exists. I thought when I came here I would see everywhere crosses. I mean, obviously that's like another thing for me what's crazy. Like when I'm in Germany, I maybe see like once or twice a German flag a day. When I'm here, I see at least 50. They're everywhere.
German flags?
Yeah, I never see them really much in Germany. Like I mean,
you see German flags here?
No, I talk about American
flag. Oh, that's what I was confused. I was like, dang, where are you going?
No, like American flags. I can see them everywhere. In Germany, I just maybe like see like 2 like a day or something. But before I came here, I thought like America is like one of the most like countries with the most believers, and our people are super religious and all that stuff. And like when I came here, I realized like there's like some stuff over here, even like in high school over here, what I never saw in my life. Before I came here, I never heard something about the word what is a furry, or I never saw like that much like people that are like transgenders or gay or that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, I don't have a problem with. So
your perspective was because America's so religious that stuff would probably be less frequent, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Well, and I could also see Europeans looking at the basis of how America formed. It was, to avoid religious persecution, really, is how the Pilgrims that's what they tell us anyway, originally came over here was for religious freedom. But I think America grew into freedom of all types. So, and that's what I think a lot of people struggle with, even on political spectrums, is I've told you this, I'm a libertarian, which is not a liberal. It's not a Democrat or a Republican. It's really kind of in the middle. And it's because I believe we have individual liberties. We have freedoms that are guaranteed under the Constitution, and that those can't, without certain cause, can't be infringed on, right? So even though I may not agree with Aden deciding he wants to be called a woman and wearing a dress, hey, Aden says no. Anyway, if he decided that and I don't agree with that, I still support his ability to do that, as long as his decision to do that doesn't infringe on my freedom. So that's where I struggle with that. My point, though, is the majority of Americans are very, I think, very pro-freedom. They want their choices, their individual rights, and the whole basis of the country is that way. So if you want to buy terrible food and get fat, it's bad for you. I don't think you should do it, but it's your decision. Just like if you want to smoke weed all day and do nothing else productive, I'm not cool with it. If that's what you want to do, it's your life. I'm open with it. But that's interesting that they think we're all going to be super, super religious. And you're in the Bible Belt too. So like in my perspective, with the exception of if you go to Hot Springs, Arkansas area, you haven't gone there yet. They would like to think that's God's country. There's a lot of interesting things going on up there, but every corner has a church. There's a church like everywhere up there. But there are also a whole lot of, I don't know if I can say it without getting banned off the YouTube. There's a lot of messing with the kids, if you know what I mean, going on.
Oh, I thought you were about to say like cousin.
Well, there's that too. There's that too. But I mean, we know because Brian was licensed in Arkansas, still is licensed in Arkansas. And when I first started with him, we had a lot of cases over there, and it was very clear that that was something that happened a lot. My point is, just because there's a lot of churches doesn't mean the people are more religious or better or worse. You know what I mean?
And there's like another thing, like churches, like over here, are way different than in my country. Like churches over here, like you sing a lot, like you use like guitars, like more instruments. Like in Germany, like in my church, we only have is it organ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Organ.
We just have like an organ, and what people play on like church, like the construction of the church over here and based on my country are way different. I mean, we still like both believe in Jesus Christ, but we worship different. Like our churches are like way different. Like ours are like super old. And over here, most of them, like I would say, they're pretty modern. I guess.
Is it Protestant though, Christianity, or is it Catholicism?
Like I would say it's like 50-50 baptism and Catholic. So it depends. Like after World War II, Germany got split in like in West Germany and East Germany, and I would say it really depends on this where you grew up, if you're Catholic or if you're Baptist, or in which family you're born in.
Yeah, are y'all still feeling the effects of that? The whole, in the 80s, is not that far ago when the wall fell there. Is that anything that y'all are aware of over there?
I mean, I could give you just like one example. Like I wouldn't say it's like it changed completely. It's not like we have a border anymore or something. I would say Germany is like one country and it's normal. There's like some things like in our generation, like I'm from West Germany. Let's say you drive a scooter in West Germany and you drive to East Germany, like as a teenager. People over there would not be happy to see you on a scooter. They want to see you on a Simpson. That's like cool. Simpson is like a old motorcycle from over there. I will show you.
They want to see you on a what?
On a Simpson.
Simsung?
Simpson.
It's Simpson, but he's a Simpson.
Simpson?
Simpson.
It's a motorcycle.
It's a motorcycle.
Look up a Simpson, Josh. I want to know what a Simpson looks like. I think about the cartoon when you say that.
Yeah, is it
Not
spelled the same?
Simpsons. Zimzong motorcycle.
Zim.
How do you spell it?
Simeng.
G motor
Cycle.
Simpson. Simming?
cycle. Is this it?
Wait, no, it's not. Maybe I spelled it wrong.
I may have had a typo.
Well, but so they don't want to see you on a bicycle. They want to see you on that.
That's a Simpson, yeah.
Simpson.
Yeah.
Simson. Oh,
No,
okay,
my
yeah,
bad.
gotcha. Yeah.
Why? What difference does that make?
Because like after like the border, like this was like the most like vehicle you can. What was like the most popular and coolest thing over there? And they're like, I would say, East Germany is more like a. How can I say without like disrespecting them? Like they're more like in like kind of old-fashioned kind of stuff. It really depends on the family. But if I'm like let's say I'm 16 years old and I live in East Germany and I'm buying me a scooter, people would like bullying me for that just because I don't have a Simpson because it's cool.
Well, I could see that. What was the wall fell in 88, something like that. Obviously, before y'all were born, I was alive. I remember when it happened because Reagan was president, and it was a big deal. They made it a big deal over here anyway. Reagan tried to take credit for a lot of that, whether it's true or not. I think it was 88.
1989.
89. Okay. Anyway, so I was 10 when that happened. But what I was going to say is, in the United States, we had a civil war in the 1800s. It's over 100, almost 150 years ago now, longer than that. And there's still residual tension in the South anyway from the Civil War. You still have people that are like, the South will rise, and like hold on to, and then a lot of times they don't even understand what the whole Civil War was over states' rights. That was it. Slavery was a component of it in the United States. But the real reason we had a Civil War is because the southern states who were agricultural at the time, and the northern states that were moving into an industrial phase and were more worker heavy, like needing field labor, the southern states wanted to have the ability to make a decision for themselves independently, not be told by the federal government what to do, of whether they wanted to have slavery or not. It was a states' rights issue. Now, obviously, it should have been a human rights issue, but my point is, there were other factors besides just slavery that led to it. That was a big component of it, though. And their whole economy was based on agriculture, which required workers. And at the time, they didn't know how to rectify this need for these low-paid workers, i.e. slavery, and how to get around the issue. But it wasn't really just slavery. It was more states' rights. My point, though, is a lot of people are like, South will rise and all this, and they don't understand the real history of it. But it's interesting that here we are 150 plus years later, and there's still residual feelings from northern people. And honestly, it's probably more southerners feel that way than northern people. Like, we'll still call people Yankees, you know.
What does a Yankee mean?
It means they were it was sort of a slang for a northern soldier. For a American soldier, they were the Americans. We were the Confederacy. When the Civil War happened in the United States, there were countries that ceded from the Union. Okay, so that's the other thing, is it wasn't a war of Southern aggression. The South didn't attack the North. The South just said, we're not with you anymore, we're out. And several of those countries banded together and they formed the Confederate States of America. So they formed their own country, right? And the federal government, the American government, said, no. You know, we're all part of the same deal. You're going to stay here, and we're going to make you stay here. And then, you got to do what we say, basically. And that's what led to the big fight. So there's still, and like, I don't think there's anybody alive who's in the Civil War, obviously, anymore. I mean, they're all gone. And then even my grandparents, who, may have known people, they may have known some folks that might have been in the Civil War, are gone. So we literally got 3 generations probably removed that are gone. But I'm sure, Aden, you've born and raised here. Mm-hmm. You're probably very aware of this still sort of it's not violent, but there's still a friction
like
there.
A tension,
yeah. So anyway, I bring it up because, Germany's been around a lot longer than the United States. And the Berlin Wall deal is a lot more recent than the Civil War. So I could see there being this tension there still because it just hasn't been that long. And is that what you're saying you kind of feel there between?
Yeah, I just kind of feel like sometimes, like in our generation, I would say people like from, I don't know, like 10 to like 30 years old, they would like saying like, as an East German person, I don't like the people from West Germany, like they call them Wessis, and that's more like a bad thing what you can say about them, because while we had the border, like people in West Germany lived a way better life. I mean, we had like bananas and all that kind of stuff. It's just a like weird example, but like people in East Germany didn't have like the same stuff that we had. We had like more stuff. They were like poor, I guess, if you can consider us poor, all that kind of stuff. And they just say like we are like snobs, if you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah, I can get that. Well, and I think some of that will eventually go away as you grow more unified in the generations. Y'all's generation will probably help with that.
Yeah.
But it does. Hope so. It takes a long time for that. I mean, we've talked a little bit about World War II.
Yeah, let me ask you a great question. So, what are like the first things that comes to your mind when you think about Germany?
you want the honest answer? I think you already know what the honest answer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
as Americans, yeah.
I'll just say World War II is something that comes to mind. That's a very common thing that we think about. It's not the only thing I think about, but it's definitely kind of like when you say fat Americans and. What was the guns?
McDonald's.
And McDonald's, yeah. I think about. I had a standing answer for that when somebody asked, because you want to be politically correct, and I would be like, German engineering, the cars. But yeah, no, the honest answer is most of us think about that. So, and I'm sure you guys are aware of that.
Yeah, like the most like common question I got over here, like first of all, when I came here, people are asking me the weirdest questions ever. Like, people ask me if I know what is a fridge or a toilet, or people ask me if like the worst thing ever is like one of my friends, he's mixed. He came over to me and asked me like, "Well, I'm so happy to introduce myself to you. I'm probably the first like black person you ever seen in your life." I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I mean, we're closer to Africa than even America. It's like so many weird stuff. If we're still Nazis and all that kind of stuff, and just asked me like, "Hey, so are you a Nazi?" And I said, "Why?" "Because you're from Germany, have blue eyes and blonde hair." Like, what the heck? I'm like,
you'd have been safe. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a bad joke. Yeah, no, I mean, so, yeah, it's obviously an issue, but, the reality is pretty much all countries have something shady in the background.
Yeah.
And I hope people are open-minded enough to realize that past generational mistakes are not reflective of future errors.
That's exactly what I mean. Like, I don't mind if you ask me questions kind of stuff, but like even like Aden knows that too. Like, I don't like it when people like in school make like super offensive jokes. Like, it's fine if you just if you make fun about it because it's like it's bad, or just like say Adolf Hitler is just like our customer. Like, this is a different thing. But if you just say like some like dumb stuff that makes no sense, it makes me kind of mad. Like, I will never I cannot change that people think that we're still Nazis. I mean, the first thing we think about is not like the BMW or Mercedes or that kind of stuff. The first thing you always think about is World War II or Adolf Hitler. I mean, I can change that, but I mean, I think it's kind of, it depends on which person you're talking to. But like, if you're an American, so would you like it if it just like the first thing that bring in my mind to you is just like think like Americans are fat and all that kind of stuff? Do you like that?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's not.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And also, I think everybody's different too. Like I try to be real thick-skinned. I've got I don't know how much you've looked at any of my stuff. I have an okay social media following for an old guy at least. And, most of the time, Josh will do these TikToks and all this, and they don't ever comment on what I'm saying. It's usually, looks like a bird crapped on your head, or something like that. It's not like anything of substance. I just don't let it bother me.
I was checking out your podcast, and I was listening one day to this Brian Huffman.
Yeah, that's my partner, my law partner, and Noah is Austin's buddy.
I was listening to that, so I checked it out.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. Well, I'm glad, it's wise before you go talking to somebody that will probably see how it goes, but probably like that one is just us running our mouths. All it is really. I like talking to folks, just kind of like you do, I guess, hearing different perspectives. And that's why I was so interested in talking with you about it. Is learning a different perspective. And I know you're young, but you have life experience that Americans don't. You've lived in another country and you speak multiple languages, and now you get to compare the two, and that's a big. That's a lot of life experience, that a lot of Americans, it's like I told you, one of my complaints for most Americans is most Americans view ourselves as the center of the world. It's almost like America is the sun and the other countries revolve around America. And that's not realistic. There's a whole world out there of people that are living every day doing their own things, and they have different thoughts, ideologies, ideals. In any event, I wish Americans would be a little more broad in their thinking. We're not the center of the world. Your views on things are very valid and important, and Germany as a country's views are very valid and important. But we have to be open to understand the other cultures to sort of meet, a bridge the differences between us. And that's what I wish they would do more with, Russia or the Ukraine or Iran or any of these other countries that there's this friction. Ultimately, most people, there's exceptions. There's some very strong extremists that just want to kill people. But I think most people, most nations, don't want war. I think most of them don't want to hurt folks if they can help it. At our core, I think we're mostly peaceful, and there are exceptions. But anyway, do y'all talk about, you said you speak Russian and Ukraine, right?
Yeah, I'm not like 100% fluent in it, but like I couldn't like tell you if you just ask me right now what means like, I don't know, an astronaut that's sitting in a spaceship, like the computer over there, like I couldn't tell you this stuff. But like one reason when it just came up to that is like why I'm here. Like I really want to see like the culture difference. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I'm really here. I mean, talking like for me, like for you that's like normal, like right here. I mean, I'm sitting in a podcast. Obviously, it's not normal for me. It's like a new thing. But talking to Americans, it's like completely different to like all that kind of stuff I'm used to. I mean, even like, I don't know why, but it sounds so weird, but I love the American accent, like how people talk and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, so like, I would say it's magic. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like so cool. Like here, like listening to people with their own accent, all that stuff. And I mean, I came here obviously to hear that, and I'm happy with it.
Well, I would say this too, and I think you're open-minded enough to know this. You're going to establish certain opinions about us based on this experience here. Some are good, some are bad. You're probably going to think Americans are more stupid or intelligent or whatever it is that you come up with.
Nobody is stupid. I would say it depends on how you want to learn. If you want to learn things.
Yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say is there are, just like I could go to Germany, and if I go to one area, I'm going to get some ideal. America is full of just about anything you want. Opinions, experiences, lifestyles. Like it's literally a melting pot. So there's a lot to it. As long as you're open-minded, and there are open-minded people here, just like I'm sure there are in Germany. And that's the hope, is that those are the people that we have in power, communicating, and not idiots. But unfortunately, we end up with idiots a lot of times. And probably the same thing in Germany. I don't know why it goes that way, but it is what it is. So, well, if y'all want to give your social media stuff, you can. I mean, most of my viewers are older than you, but maybe they'll stalk you. Where could they look you up, or is there any place to follow you, or you care?
I have an Instagram account named lostander.de. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Cool.
My Instagram's Aden_Deverell, DEVERELL.
Hey, you got to shave that hair off when you get in. No, it's so pretty, and you're gonna have to lose it.
Yeah, that's what I told him too.
Beautiful bald. Bald is beautiful.
That's okay. As long as you got a good shaped head, it'll be all right.
I was bald before I came here too.
Really? I almost said something inappropriate about World War II then, and I didn't.
Good job.
Yeah, good. Self-control. Okay, all right. Well, man, I appreciate y'all coming in, both you fellas. And thank you guys for watching. As always, if you haven't, please make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. We're on all social media platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google, Podcast, etc. And TikTok for the moment, until the federal government decides they want to focus tax dollars on TikTok, which is so stupid. You can also download Inside My Head, which is a new album out from NA the Band. It's free, so go check those guys out. They're on iTunes and Spotify. Michelle Allen is your local Cry-Like realtor. If you're buy, selling, renting, leasing real estate, check her out. She's also Volunteer of the Year, so good congratulations to Michelle. And then if you want to learn to kick people in the face, you can visit masonsmartialarts.com. We have a location in Covington and in Millington. We teach taekwondo, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, all kinds of cool stuff. Come check us out. And then if you want to read or listen to music, come to Jam Books and Records, located off Square in Covington. Open 6 days a week. And then if you want help with your social media marketing, branding, etc., just visit masonitemarketing.com. Josh will help you out. So thank you guys for watching again. We'll be here hopefully again soon for another Law Talk. Keep kicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember that this is not legal advice or investment advice or business advice. This is for fun and entertainment purposes only.